Hello guys, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. My name is Igwe Chedema, and if you're new here, you are very welcome. For my returning subscribers, I love you so much. Thank you for always showing up. So today I'll be showing us how I made this gown. If you watched my previous video, the video before this one, I showed us how I made the peplon, the detachable peplon. So this is how I made this gown. Let's go. So right here are all the materials I'll be working with: my doll face, my main fabric, and then the lace. So going ahead, I folded my fabric. I came down by 8 inches, which is the hip line. Then 25 inches, I came down by 25 inches. That is my new line. And then right here, I'm taking my waist measurement. After that, I'm going to add 2 inches here for the sewing allowance. Then at the 8 inches I came down by, I'm going to take my hip measurement and then add 2 inches for the sewing allowance. Then at this new line, I'm going to just take my hip divided by 4. No allowance will be added. My hip is 10, so I didn't add any allowance. I just marked that 10 there at my new line. And then at the full length here, I'm going to mark 10 as well. So I'm not going to add any allowance to it. My full length, the full length of the skirt is 40 inches. That is what I marked there, is 40 inches. I already did that earlier. So this is a pencil gown, so that's why this down part has to be, how will I put it now, pencil like. So I'm going to go ahead and connect everything together with my ruler. Please guys, if you have watched the video to this point, thank you so much. Please do me a favor to subscribe and also like the video. It will make it get to more people. Okay, after cutting the skirt part, I placed it on the pattern I'll be using to cut the back part. And as you can see, the 2 inches I measured at the back, that will serve as the zipper allowance. So I'm going ahead to cut out the back panel now. So after I was done cutting that, just watch how I'm going to put my back slit. So to put my back slit, I'll first of all, from this upper part, I'm going to measure where I would want the slit to stop. So that's what I want to do here. My slit is going to start at 25 inches. That is my new length here. I just marked it. That is where my slit is going to start from, all the way down, right, from my new length. So I'm just going to open this upper part all the way through down to the 25 inches I measured down, and I'll stop there. And then for my slit part, I'm going to cut through. I'm not just going to open the way I open from the upper part. See how I'm going to cut it here, so that at the end of the day I won't have to be using hemming gum to make it relax. So this is going to make the back slit very relaxed. There won't be excess fabric for me to be using hemming gum to hem or fold, something like that. So after that, I'm going to cut my lace now with the front panel. This is the front panel now of the skirt part. So I'm going to cut the lace which is at the down part. So the lace fabric is going to go from my knee down to the full length of the skirt of the gown. So that is what I did here. So for the back part where the slit is going to be, you can see how I put it. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it also. So for my upper part now, I'm going to start right here, up here. I'm taking 7.5 inches here. That is my shoulders divided by 2. Then I placed my tape, came down by 8 inches for the armhole, then 10 inches for bust point, 13 inches here for the under bust, and then 17 for the waist. That's the half cut or waistline. So for more clarity, I thought of labeling it chest line, bust point, that's BP, then UB for my under bust here, and then lastly the waistline, which is WL for easy understanding. So what I'm doing right now is to take my bust span measurement, that's nipple to nipple, and that is 4 inches. So I'm going to mark it all the way through to the chest line. Then at this chest line, I'm going to go up by 2 inches, but this particular point is optional. You can go up by 1, you can go up by 1.5, depending on how close you want yours to be. So after I went up by that 2 inches, I'm still going to mark the 4 inches and then connect everything. So the next thing now is to take the that measurement. So on both sides, I'm going to mark 1 inch. So 1 inch in and 1 inch out. I will mark that on the waistline and then on the under bust. So after that, I'll connect it with this straight ruler. And then after that, I'm then going to use my curve rule to curve it into the bust point. Okay, just a reminder again, please guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, please, you'll be doing me a huge favor to do so right now, so you don't forget. Please just help me hit that red subscribe button, and actually it doesn't cost much. It doesn't even cost at all. So just like I did, I'm going to go up from that 2 inches I went up by from the chest line. I'm going to mark 1 inch as well, just like I did on the waist and on the bust point. So I'm going to mark 1 inch in and out, then connect it like this to also meet the bust point. So right here that I'm pointing, I'm going to just make a small sweetheart curve. I don't want it very deep, just a small thing. So that's why I'm using my free hand. Ordinarily, if I wanted it very big, I would have made it to touch the chest line. But I just wanted a simple sweetheart curve right there. So I'm using my curve rule now to blend it better. Then later, I'm going to curve the other part into the armhole. But before then, I want to take the neckline measurement. So for the width of my neckline, I'm going in by 4 inches for the width, and then for the depth, I'm coming down by 3 inches. Then I'm going to curve it with the curve rule. Then at this armhole line, I'm coming down by 1/2 inch. This is going to serve as the shoulder slope. So I'll connect it to the neckline that I marked earlier. Next thing I want to do is to curve the armhole. So you can use your free hand, you can use your curve rule. So I just curved the armhole, and the next thing I want to do now is to start putting all the necessary measurements. So starting from this waistline, I'm going to take my waist measurement here. So I'll take the waist measurement and check how many inches I have at this dart line, and that's 2 inches. I'm going to replace that here because we are cutting out that inch, that place, right? So I'll add extra 2 inches for the stitching allowance. Then at the bust point, the chest line rather, I'm going to take my bust measurement at the chest line. That's what I did here. And then I'm going to check how many inch I have there. I think it's about ½ inch. So I added it there and then add 2 inches for the allowance. I'm just going to go ahead and connect it. So after I was done with that, it's just to go ahead and cut it out. So before I'll go ahead and cut off all that part, I'm going to use this pattern to cut my back panel. So I've placed it on the fabric for my back panel, and I'm going to just use it to cut the back panel. After that, I can then go ahead and cut off all the darts. So here I'm done, and I'm opening the zipper part. So I can now go ahead and cut off all the dart parts. First of all, I'm cutting this yoke part, which I'm going to use for my lace, right? Then I'll go ahead and cut off the rest. So I'm giving it a notch here. If you give it this notch, it will help you when it's time for you to join everything together. So I gave it this notch, and I also did on the center part. I did for the sides and then the center part. So I've used it to cut my actual fabric now. So this is it, guys. After joining, this is what I have. The next thing to do now is to shape it. I hope you find this video interesting. Please don't forget to subscribe.